Hello, my name's Floyd Pleasant Tarvin IV. I have a channel, actually several channels on social media called The Fearless Floyd Show. And as I have taken this journey, and it's been a long one, in 2021, okay, 4 years ago, almost to the date, I was talking about trusts. And I was telling everybody about trusts. And I had yet to meet Ann LaFleur and develop the trust class and trust books. Let me get the right one up. Here we go. You can do this yourself. You can go to my YouTube channel. And you can just put search trust. Kick that out. And you can scroll to the very last one. And there it is. Transfer your motor conveyance to your trust. December 18th, 2021. Introduction to Express Trusts. Here's Ann's first trust series, part 1. You see, we did it 3 years ago. So I had already been talking about trust a year prior to me even meeting Ann. If you don't know who Ann LaFleur is, Ann LaFleur was the other half of the Michelle Mickey Clan Bonds for the Win dynamic duo, and did all the research, built the website, etc., etc. The reason I bring this up to you is because I've been talking about trust from the beginning. I'm not going to say I was the first one in this community to talk about trust, but I definitely was in its infancy. Let's put it that way. So I've shown you when I was absolutely talking about trust and telling everybody you should get a trust and run your trust, right? Well, when I met Ann and brought her on the show, we started doing the videos that was supposed to be a 24-part series. We did 19 parts. I went and re-edited it this year. We actually did 20 parts. So it's a fresh new series. It's in my playlist. You're more than welcome to watch it. It'll give you basically a step-by-step how to set your trust up for free. And I tell everybody, you don't have to get a trust from me. You don't have to buy the book. You don't have to take the class. I'm not trying to hear put that. I'm trying to show you, okay, exactly what you should be doing regardless, okay? Because most of you remember I used to have Erica Kilday on my show. I called her America's Mom. She's over in Kentucky. Now she has her own private platform with private families. What is she doing, telling everybody to do? Trusts. And if you remember, I used to cover people that were in the alternative community. One of those was David Lester Straight. 2 years ago, almost to the date, David Lester Straight teamed up with these two guys and they created freemanbot.com. Now, in that platform, they told you that if you paid, I think it was $3,500 in 12 months, you would have access to your Sestui KV trust, your major or minor trust, one of them. That's what they told their students. And people ponied up all those thousands of dollars to get educated and get access to their trust. A year later, nothing. Nobody had access to their trust. Then David passed away. So what are those two guys up to now? Well, let's go take a look, Floyd. And I'm going to show you exactly what these guys are up to. And this is, listen, finally, they're doing the right thing. Finally. If everybody would just have listened to me and they don't, and I don't know why, you could have saved 2 years of your time, money, and energy. But you didn't listen. But that's cool. That's on you. Next time you'll listen, I hope. But these guys right here, you see freemanbot.com, be the trustee. Subject, why pay $15,000 plus for trust administration when you can learn how to do it yourself? Why pay $15,000, blah, 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 living trust administration costs. And here they want to break it all down for you and tell you how much it costs. I've never seen this type of number where there's a 0, a comma, and 75%, but is what it is. I guess that's a typo. So if you can pay your trustee $2,500 a year to run your trust, that's awesome. That's what, $200 a month. See if you can find you a trustee to do that. So obviously they're, I don't know who the brilliant law firm is, but obviously these numbers are incorrect. I guarantee you, there's no way you're going to find a trustee to run your trust for $200 a month, especially if you have valuable assets, you do a lot of investing, trading, et cetera, et cetera. So these guys are doing a live class in Minnesota for 2 days. You can come join them. I have no idea what this thing costs. Really don't care. But the point of the matter is that they had a platform. They promised all their students that they would have access to their SES2KV trust, and they failed in that mission. Now they're jumping on the trust bandwagon like everybody is. All right. So if everybody's doing it, it's probably something you should think about, because this isn't some hanky-panky process where you're, putting some verbiage on a document and sending it in and, praying that they accept it and know what to do with it. And you'll get some type of remedy or relief. This is what a trust binder looks like. This one's empty, doesn't have anything in it, because this is a charitable trust that I have created, and obviously I haven't done anything with it. I have multiples set up. Some they're just waiting for the right time to get activated. But I create these binders and I put warnings on them to tell everybody, hey, this is, proprietary information. It's copyright protected. Can't share it. And it tells you everything, the date that it was established, February 12th, 2022. There it is. So you can read it, 2022, folks. So I've been doing this for a hot minute. I think I have a little bit of experience doing this. So when I tell you about trusts and how to operate in trust, I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. This is something that I've been using, something I practice, something I preach, and I have not let up off the gas. Neither has Ann LaFleur. We have not taken you on these silly journeys down these dark rabbit holes. We've stayed true to the facts, because this is how the wealthy operate. They operate with a trust, privately in the public. And most people just can't wrap their head around that concept. Now, you heard these guys over here in FreemanBot telling you, you should be the trustee. Do you really want to be the trustee of your trust? Do you understand what the trustee of the trust is? The trustee runs everything. Trustee's got to fade the heat. Trustee's got to make the investments. Trustee's got to listen to the beneficiaries and heirs bitching about how come they're not getting enough money, or they need more money, or they need a new car, they want a new house, they want this, that. Is that what you want to be? I think you want to be the grantor and a beneficiary. Now, you can set your beneficiary roll up in many different ways. You can be a direct beneficiary, or you can set up a 501, 503, 508, LLP, LLC, sole corp holding company. You can get a position within those organizations and get a salary. And that way you've become a beneficiary, but not a direct beneficiary. So there's many ways that you can do this. And I try to explain this to people over and over and over, but people don't really listen. People would rather ignore me. They would rather stay away from me. And that's fine too. I'm not tripping. Okay. I'm not out to be Mr. Popular on social media. I don't want 100,000 people emailing me every day. I've been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. So, if you want to talk to me, I tell everybody, just call me on the phone. I'll have a conversation with you. And I live by that because I'm old school. I can get much more accomplished within 5 minutes of talking to you than I can of 5 minutes of texting. Okay. So email, text, all that. That's, to me, that's the slowest form of communication there is. If you want instant access, just call me and I'll talk to you. I'll tell you what you need. Before you call me, I can tell everybody this. Write down what your goals are so you have some type of idea of the direction of the conversation. Don't just call me up out of the blue with, I don't know what I want to do, Floyd. Oh, okay, let's sit here for the next hour and try to figure out what you want to do. No, you should have that figured out by the time you call me. And I'm going to ask you, please prioritize those goals that you think by need, not by want. And if you know the path to achieve that goal, write that down as well. If you don't know the path, hopefully I can help you out, or I can give you some direction where you need to go get that. So I encourage everybody, man, set you up a trust. I don't care where you get it. Okay. If you want to get it from me and Ann, that's fine. If you want to go somewhere else, that's fine too. But there will be a change coming to my platform. I will more likely than not collaborate with 2 other entities, and we will be setting up a organization of people that have trusts and that want to move forward, that don't want to be a trustee, but want to be a beneficiary. Not so much even an heir, because those are 2 different words with 2 different meanings. So make sure that you understand both before you put that hat on. To be a beneficiary means you're, reaping proceeds from the trust. An heir means, you're waiting on the proceeds from the trust. So big difference between those 2. So make sure you fully comprehend. I encourage everybody, pick you up a Black's Law Dictionary. You can go on abebooks.com, pick you up a Black's Law. I got a 6th edition. I think I paid $10 for it, something like that. And you can do that as well. So I encourage everybody, pick you up a Black's Law Dictionary, get you a Burton's Legal Thesaurus. Those are the 2 main books that you're ever going to need when you're dealing with the legal realm, because you need to know what these words mean. Because even though you learned what a word meant in school and you've read it in Webster's dictionary, when you go over to Black's Law's dictionary, it has a completely different meaning. Perfect example, the word leave, like a leaf that fell from the tree, right? Or Antonio is going to leave the room, right? So you understand those meanings, you comprehend them. That's what you learned. Well, in the legal realm, leave means permission. Motion for leave for an extension of time to file my whatever. So I'm asking the court for permission for an extension of time. That's what leave means. That's why I say it's just an innocuous word that, without you really comprehending the real legal meaning, you would assume leave. That kind of doesn't make sense in the sentence, but okay. And you just pass it by without investigating it. And there's a lot of words in the English language that are like that in law. So please be careful. That's why there's 2 books. Very simple, very affordable. $20 probably get you both of them delivered to your house. Get your trust set up, please. Okay. Protect your estate, because There's a lot of stuff coming in the future here when AI gets involved. You know how hard it is to deal with AI when you're dealing with it. You have these chatbot answering services and, these recorded calls, and you call and you got to go through all, 8, 9 numbers to figure out where the hell you want to direct your call. Then you get in there and you got another series of numbers you got to go through. And then, 10 minutes, you're like, okay, finally, hopefully that's the right one. Then you get disconnected. Right. So all I can tell you is this is what I've been doing. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm very good at it. I have a legal background, obviously 12 years. I'm published multiple times in the law books. You can Google my full name, as I gave you at the very beginning of the video. You can look at some of my work. You're more than welcome to go to Travis County Clerk. You can go to pacer.gov and look at work there. So my platform is unquestionable. Ann LaFleur is unquestionable. Her books, awesome books. She just put out 4 brand new books: How to Run Your Trust Like a Pro, Revocable Trust book, Irrevocable Trust book, and a Dynasty Trust book. They're all $49.99 in the fearlessfloydshow.com store. You can go pick you one up, and it just tells you how to run that specific trust. And I've added a free bonus to that purchase. So when you purchase any one of those 4 books, or all 4, I'm going to give you some bonuses. So is what it is. I just feel good. This isn't about money for me. This is about education. This is about bringing as many people as I can into this to protect their family, their assets, everything, the whole 9 yards. There's too many of you out there running around thinking that you're all set up, and I get the phone calls. By the time you call me, by the time you watch one of my videos, by the time you discover that, oh, wow, there may be a remedy, it's generally too late. The jugular's already been cut, the body's bleeding out, and there's going to be nothing left of the estate by the time I get there to even tell you anything. And I've heard these horror stories. Okay. And we're talking, these aren't people that are struggling. All right. I've got people that call me that, multi-million-dollar estates up for grabs. Tens of millions of dollars. Multiple properties. Tons of assets. And believe me, the stories are just horrific. Imagine if, your parents did everything right. They went to an attorney, they set up the trust. You and your sibling are the heirs, but your sibling's struggling. Your sibling's in a bad relationship. Family's dysfunctional. They're in debt. If they can just get access to their parents' valuables, it'll solve all their problems. And out of desperation, they do that. And they access the trust. They start raiding and pillaging the trust and taking the assets without anybody knowing about it. I've seen people put their parents in assisted living. I've seen people, try to accelerate the demise of their parents so they can get access to the estate. I've seen it all. I've heard it all. And I'm telling you, folks, if you're not prepared, you're not set up, you're going to get taken. And don't think because you just spent, $15,000 for your, stellar attorney to create this trust for you that it's impenetrable. It's bulletproof. No, 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 no. 2 of the worst cases that I've ever heard about, an attorney created the trust. Absolutely. That's the worst That's the worst person you can have to set up your trust. Why? And I'm not putting them all in the same bucket, but most attorneys, they just want money. It's all about the money. It's not even about winning. If it was about winning, then they would be going to trial more often. If it was about winning, they would be doing more appeals and post-conviction. They would take up these pro bono cases for these death penalty cases, and they would be winning. But they don't want to win. They just want to make money. They want to keep the wheels turning. That's all attorneys are for. They have their place and time in your life, but when it comes to your trust, how many of you trust attorneys? What's the nickname for a lawyer? A liar, right? That's who you want to build your estate and put your trust in. Please beware of what you're doing. I don't care what the attorney's done for you. This is a private matter between you and your estate. This isn't something you should delve out to somebody else to build for you that you don't even comprehend what the words say in it. If there's Latin, you don't know what those words mean. They've used English language, but they've used it in the legal context. You have no idea what that word means. You're putting full faith and credit in that attorney to do the right thing at all times. And as I said, I've seen multi-million-dollar estates penetrated by the attorneys. And if you got a multi-million-dollar stronghold to pay for a legal team to go fight for the valuable estate assets of the estate, knock yourself out. Because when it comes to that, it's a war of attrition between you and the other party who has the most money to continue this legal thing to go on to see who's going to win. And most of the time, somebody runs out of money and just gives up. And who's the winner? The attorneys. They're going to get paid regardless. I give out my own time, money, and energy. For what I tell you guys, through my own experience, I should be getting paid big bucks, way more than an attorney. So I can't make you do things. I can't make you listen to me. My track record is almost perfect, stellar. You know why? Because when those guys over on FreemanBot first came out and said that for this amount of money, we're going to get you access to your minor trust, major trust, whatever they said. As soon as I read that, you know what my first thought was? Bullshit, scammers, grifters. And what happened? I did a video a year later and called them out. Hey, I'm sorry I'm here to laugh at you, but I'm here to laugh at you because you didn't listen. You went and spent your money elsewhere. When you could have saved a whole year, if you just listened to me, set up your trust, you could be that far advanced. But you didn't. You went and hung out with a guy who sent his wife to prison, I think on purpose. That's my opinion. So he could play around, play the field, in my opinion. So I'm telling everybody, okay? Telling everybody. They're teaching trust classes. My platform is going to change. Once I merge with these other two entities, my platform is going to change. My prices may change. I don't know. This is something all three groups have to work out together. So if you're looking for something from my platform, it would probably behoove you to go pick it up now. I'll do a 24-hour flash sale for Halloween. If you want to stay tuned for that, I'll do a Black Friday event. And again, I doubt we'll have the contracts all signed by Black Friday, but hopefully we'll be close. So I would say, definitely by the new year, things are going to change. Prices are probably going to be different. The offerings will most likely be different. I don't know what that looks like. We have to work it out where everybody's, sitting at the table with a smile on their face. And once that occurs, we'll move forward. But if you're looking for a trust, you want to build it yourself. I don't care if you go over, pay $10 for a monthly subscription to Scribed and yank one off there. I don't care if you borrow one from your friend, your mother, wherever. Just get you a trust, get it up and running, learn how to run it. If you don't know how, we did a multi-part series. You can go watch it and learn how to do it. Can't express this enough to you guys. All right, let me get over to the comments real quick. How you doing, Buffy? Welcome to the show. Hello, Catherine. Did I hear that the court funding is going to stop? Context, court funding. What do you mean court funding? I don't understand that. Who's going to stop court funding? Tool song, The Pot tells you about lawyers. Men have been known to do that. Yeah. No. I don't know who's going to stop the court funding. I don't know what that's about. I've never heard that. Court defunding. Who's going to defund the courts? Is that like a defund the police movement thing? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, well, that's something we can do. Anyway, I just want to show you guys, what you should be doing, what I've been doing for a long time now. Okay, I'm not going to say I'm the first, but there it is. This is the stuff I do. It's upside down. And I build these binders. And I have a whole bunch of these. I buy them in bulk. They have pockets inside and out, and I use page protectors to hold all my instruments inside. I don't punch holes in them. And there you go. That's what a trust looks like. If you need one, you want to build one, we'll take care of you. If you need listen, you can be a grantor and a beneficiary. You can be a grantor and an heir. You can be a grantor and a trustee. But you cannot be a trustee and a beneficiary, a trustee and an heir. So really, you don't want to be the trustee. You want somebody else to do this, but it has to be somebody reliable. So, you need what? A family office or a trustee? Well, that's coming, folks. We got you. We're going to set up an organization that be unparalleled. Absolutely. That's my goal. Set this thing up. Something you want to be a part of, hit me up. I guarantee you, once it is up and running, you will be knocking on the door going, what are y'all guys doing over there? I want in. And we'll let you in. Absolutely, we'll let you in. But for the first part, we just want knowledgeable people that already have a trust established, have been running their trust, and want to move forward. That's what we're looking for. But for all of you greenhorns, rookies, new boots, as we call you, we've got classes, we got books, we got everything that you need to get you set up and get you caught up so you can get on the learning curve. And Catherine asked, which trust book is the first one to figure out how to begin, and which trust is the best for a beginner? There are so many. Again, Catherine, I'll tell you, it depends on the estate, what assets you have, what your goals are as the grantor to the trust, how you want the trust to be divided, to be run. I mean, so many different things. A lot of people just like express trusts because they're simple to build. They're quick, easy, simple. Some people want something a little bit more complex, like a revocable trust or asset protection trust. Let me grab these two books. This is the original book that Anne wrote, and this is the On Trust. It has 7 trusts in here: revocable, irrevocable, foreign, charitable remainder, express trust, college education, and the land trust. It also has every other document that you will need to run those particular trusts. So if you want to do a third-party contract, you want to cancel a check, all those forms are in here, everything. So not only do you get the 7 trusts, but you get all the ancillary forms to completely run your trust. Not to be outdone with herself, Anne created the specialty trust books. How this book evolved, because most of you have no idea why Anne wrote this book. As we did the classes, eventually wrote the book because the book came from the classes. Anne was contacted and she was building specialty trusts for people. She was contacted to build a farm trust. What other one? There's about 3 or 4 of them in here that she did for other people. So while she was putting this together, she's like, well, I'm just going to do another book of specialty trusts. And that's what she did for this book right here. Now, this book is not for everybody. And I tell everybody, you may not even need this book. That's just up to you. Some people, they want all the information, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And I try to tell everybody, I try to be as fair and judicial as possible, that you may not need this book. So if you don't need it, don't buy it. Okay. I'm not in it for the money. I keep telling y'all folks that. All right. This is a book for somebody that is going to have a complex set, an umbrella, this big structure, and then they're going to put everything underneath it. If you want to be the trustee and you want to run your own family office, you have a big family or you have a lot of assets, this is probably a book that you should have. So you can go through here and find out exactly which trust you need. A qualified personal residence trust. Okay. You may have to look that up. What does that mean, Floyd? Well, I went through all these videos and I wrote down what these actual trusts are, the definition of them. So I did, I think, 20 something videos. So you can go watch those. They're on my YouTube, Rumble, all that. Qualified terminal interest trust, irrevocable life insurance trust, third-party special needs trust, community property trust, asset protection trust, discretionary trust, ministry trust, decedent trust, perpetual family trust, that's a dynasty trust, testamentary direct discretionary trust, grantor retained annuity trust, irrevocable farm trust, pets trust, AB trust, marital trust, and included in this book is the DNA addendum that can go to any trust. If you're not familiar with that, and most people are like, well, there's a process that you use. You send your DNA off to get tested, but there's a procedure that you follow where you claim your DNA. Now it is your property and you can do whatever you want with it. You can put it in your trust property. That's up to you. It's your imagination. That's in here. All right. So there's a step-by-step process. I lay everything out. I've done this myself. I screenshotted everything. It's in the book. It's only in this book. Will it be in other future books? That's a possibility. I don't know. I might even offer it as a standalone. This is all in development. I'm busy. I'm working. I'm trying to do my thing. Working on this thing right here, which is my writ of habeas corpus challenging my 60-year sentence for my third-degree felony DWI. That's what I'm working on. But I wanted to do this these classes on trust because I get these emails from these guys. I have no idea why I'm still on their email list. It makes no sense, but it is what it is, Stupid is as stupid does, according to Forrest Gump. So, you definitely want to protect that 10 acres of land. You have to own the land outright. Cannot have a lien against it. Otherwise, it's not yours to put in the trust and protect it. So again, this could be you. I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you have a significant other, children, nieces, nephews, but you could do an asset protection. You could do a marital trust. You could do an AB trust. Classified as a farm, you could do a farm trust. You know, asset protection trust, community property trust. This is why I tell everybody it's kind of hard for me to tell you what you need or what you need to do without really talking to you on the phone. And, that's why tailor-made trust. That's what that's set up for. You pay a $299 deposit. Just doesn't matter which trust. If you think that's the one you need, you're going to get a free consultation. I'm going to talk to you, or I'm going to have a representative speak with you as well, who's very knowledgeable about trust. And we're going to find out exactly what you need. And then once we find that out, then that's what we're going to put you in. Even though you paid for a farm trust and you need an AB trust, well, it's transferable. No big deal. Okay. I just have to put everything out there. This is what's available to you. You may or may not know what you want, but just go ahead and pull that trigger and we'll figure it out and get you on the right path. That's what TailorMade Trusts is. TailorMadeTrust.com. It's just a drop website. Go on there. You're going to put in your email and your notes or anything, and you're going to send it to me. It's just basically a mail drop. That's all it is. One of these days I'll build it out. I just don't know when I have time. All right, Catherine, I'm an ordained minister and want to be able to get out of land taxes and have a museum and the ability to have land donated to my ministry, Trust Ministry Foundation, all the same. Is a trust and a ministry? No, they're not all the same. They're all three different. It's how you structure it and how you set it up. But that's a very easy call. I mean, theoretically, you could set up an express trust, and then you could put a 501, 503, 508 underneath that. Then you set up a ministry trust and do whatever you want to do. So there's many different ways that you can address that. It's just up to you how you want it run, how complex you want it set up, and who are the beneficiaries or the heirs to the estate, to the trust, to the assets. That's up to you. We'll see. Brand new listener. When we can find your services list or offered asking for a friend. I have a website. Here, let me go over to it. I have you shown it. You okay, baby girl? This is my website, thefearlessfloydshow.com. If you want to email me, just click on that, pop you up to the email. But basically, I'm seeking the truth of everything that I find interesting, cool, and educational. What are known as conspiracy theories, we know as suppressed facts. But here's Ann's new books. These are her PDFs. I just, copied it, stuck it up here. They're not very clear. I need to go back and redo them. So anyway, here's the trust, the revocable, irrevocable, run your trust like a pro, and the Dynasty Trust books. These are $49.99 in my store. Here's the TailorMade Trusts. This is just a handful. The classes. There's Ann's book, Specialty Trust books. 200-year plan with Noel and Ted, Pedagogy of Noel Benoit, the trademark class with Wesley Keith Mullings. And let me get over here to the store. Here is the store. So if you want the Dynasty Trust, here it is. Irrevocable, revocable, run your trust like a pro. This is the On Trust ebook. On Trust ebook soft cover combo. Some people like a physical book in their hands. This is the soft cover here. specialty trust softcover, specialty trust ebook, and you see these have a price drop there, $200. Most people haven't caught on to that. So if you want to get a 2-pack, both ebooks, the On Trust and Specialty, here's a 2-pack for the softcover books. Here's a 4-pack for the ebooks and softcover books. I'll put up some more packages as well. Here's package 1, which is the On Trust ebook in revocable trust class. Here's package 2, these 6 classes. Package 3, these classes plus the ebook. This one also has the ebook. Package 4, package 5. If you want an autograph copy, got those. If you want everything in the store, if you're that person that has to have everything, there you go. Fearless Floyd Freak Out. You get everything. I'm throwing it all at you. You even get a consultation in here with this Fearless Floyd Freak Out with Ann, myself, or both of us. If you want to get the 200-year plan, there you go. DNA Trust Addendum Description, AB Trust. There's all the different ones I was telling you about for $299 deposit. And it doesn't matter which one you purchase. It may not be the one for you. Once we do the consultation, we'll figure that out. If you purchase a physical softcover book and you're shipping it outside the United States, it's expensive now with all this tariff bullshit. So it's a minimum $50. I'm probably going to have to eat some money on top of that because this was prior to Trump taking office. But it was $50 to send it to wherever, Australia, England, New Zealand. I've sent books all over the place. Trademark class with Wesley Keith Mullings. They start at $99. This will be part of the program as well when if we do merge. So it'll be a very comprehensive program for you to set everything up. But if you want the individual classes, there you go. You can take those. Want to take all of them, there you go. There's a package deal. I try to work out packages people buy in bulk to get a very substantial break. If you don't want to use PayPal and you want to use an alternative payment, or you'd like to make a donation, and support me in the show, that's always more than welcome. We take credit cards, links to Square, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Zelle. Take about everything. So if you don't want to go through the store and make your purchase, you can do it alternatively. You're more than welcome to give me a call and we can work it out that way. Very, 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 very bottom of my homepage is my cell phone number. There's my email. There's my mailing address if you want to mail me something. So there you go. Let's get back over to Catherine. Awesome. That's very helpful, Floyd. My dad was a minister as well. He was, oh no. Wow. See, this is what I'm telling you, folks. The stories are horrific. I mean, not even so much that she didn't get anything from the family, but, the fact that he was murdered by his wife. I mean, man, I hear some crazy stuff. We'll see. Okay, you're more than welcome. Quick question. Will this be applicable since we are going back to content? Well, that's a loaded question, especially for me. This is my opinion on that matter. that if we were going back to an 1871, pre-1871 republic, like we were given, I would have thought that that would have been the first executive order Trump would have signed, not the Stargate AI project, which is the New World Order. Don't for a minute not think that. The AI is going to bring in a one world currency, one world religion, one world government, and AI is going to run it all. And everybody's going to be happy. But, you know, everybody's you know, it's so funny because people talk about, oh, we're under admiralty law, we're under maritime law. No. What law are we under? Roman law. They've been doing this for thousands of years, okay? Not decades, not even centuries, thousands of years. Isn't anything new? Nothing's new. Everything is a retread. It just appears new to us. They were using trusts thousands of years ago. Absolutely. That's what the whole dowry thing's about. You know, they have dowry chests in India where they, you know, put all the stuff in this big chest for the eventual arranged marriage. Absolutely. The chief coroner told me, don't be bitter, get on with your life. Man. Happy trails, right? They make it up as they go on. So, yeah, it's a trip. Anyway, I'll let you guys get back to your Saturday. I need to get back to my Saturday as well. I just want to give you this little quick update about what other people are doing, what these other organizations are out there doing, what they're telling you, why they're doing what they're doing. You know, I can't really tell you the motives. We can just go by on face value, you know, what they say, what they do, and based on their past. Just go look at their track record. That's what I tell everybody to do with me. Go look at my track record. You know, most of my videos that I did, you know, yeah, their membership costs you 99 cents a month to go watch them. But if you go look at my track record, I'm very successful at what I do. So I want to thank you all. If you've ever taken a class from us, purchased a product from us, thank you very much from the bottoms of my heart and Ann's as well. We really appreciate it. Ann's hard at work to improve these trusts, make them stronger, better, update everything. So if you're part of it, you know, come join the team, get involved. We're cranking this back up, and I want to apologize to my audience, subscribers, and members for kind of, you know, letting you down when we should have continued to support you with your efforts, building your trust and whatever other platforms that we put together. Sincerely, we do apologize, and we fully comprehend we dropped the ball. That's why when I was approached by this other group to maybe collaborate, do a merger or something, I was like, oh, perfect. This is just a timely fit. It's the right time, the right people. Sounds like the right everything. And when I had that meeting, that discussion, my first thought was, boom, man, this Wesley's thing with these bonds, man, this merges right in. This fits. This is perfect. And I had already been doing my own research on something completely else because, you know, I feel that the biggest issue that most people have with their trust is finding a reliable, trustworthy trustee. And because, you know, they can't find one, it falls on them to be the trustee. And, you know, you get lax and you don't, you know, do what you're supposed to do as a trustee. Some people are prescient and they're up to date and they can, you know, they can handle that. They can keep their records. Some people can't. They just get, you know, caught up in whatever else they're doing and just don't do it. So I've been investigating, you know, setting up a family office for people, you know, and I don't want to be the trustee. I don't want to run your trust. Absolutely not. I got enough. I want to go enjoy life. That's what I want to do. And I'm trying to get there to do that. And I'm trying to set up my estate where I can be able to do that. That's my goal. Where I'm the grantor. I don't want to be the trustee. I want to be the beneficiary. I don't want to be the heir. My daughter's the heir. I want to be the beneficiary. I want to be taken care of. I don't want to have to work, but I want all the benefits that most people have when they are employed, like health insurance, dental, vision. You can afford homeowners insurance or renters insurance. Most people can't even afford renters insurance. They live in an apartment or rent or lease a house. And then auto insurance. And for some of you with the homeowners and renters, you can't even get it because you live in a zone that insurance companies won't insure anymore for floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, earthquakes, list goes on. Well, now you can. Now you can make the decisions. You're the claims adjuster, you're the CFO, and you're the CEO. And you're running your own little assurance company. So all this is going to blend in together. We're going to bring it to you. We're going to bring it to you a format that is teachable, it's learnable, and you'll be go out on your own and act upon all of this. That's the goal. It's all about education. And I don't want to hold your hand, and we're not just going to go, okay, there's everything on a silver platter, beat it. No, you're going to have to work to do this. You're going to have to comprehend everything about the trust. You need to know what every page of your trust says. You need to be able to look at that and go, okay, that's that, and tell me about it. And if you can't, then you probably should go back and study and reread, because you need to comprehend exactly what your trust is and what it does and how powerful it is. And maybe it's just not strong enough for what you want to do, and you need to get another trust, a different one. I don't know. But until you comprehend all that, you're not even going to know whether or not you need to get a different trust. This is why we changed the format when we started the classes. We just put up, the Word documents, and people went in there and just changed the information, put theirs in, and voila, they had a trust. Did they know what it does, what it said? Nope. Could they tell you what instrument 13 is and what it's for? No. They just know they have a trust. They got their witnesses, got it notarized, got their EIN, non-interest-bearing bank account. Boom, they're set up and running. They have no idea what it says. So we changed that. So we made it in a PDF form where people had to actually go read it and type it out themselves. You could read it word for word, and you could type it word for word, but you couldn't copy and paste. And because Anne's French, so she thinks in French, translates to English, and then puts it on paper. So sometimes when she does that, the French and English, the context is out of whack. So as we published this, people were like, oh, hey, here's this mistake. This sentence is out of context. And we left it in there purposely. Because if you didn't catch that or didn't catch multiples, you weren't reading. And we knew you weren't reading. And we knew that you were going to eventually, not run your trust and fail. And we had to learn these little intricacies over time. It wasn't like the first class, like, oh, okay, yeah, wow, they're not reading it. Well, maybe we should do something different. It was an evolution. All the classes we've done, we've worked our way up to here. So we're going to, I don't know if Ann and I are going to redo the classes, because we'd like to streamline them, get them down to where they're, maybe an hour, 90 minutes long. Some of them are, 2+ hours. So I think what we're going to do is re-record the classes, streamline them, make them shorter, more concise, more to the point, and then do a live Q&A afterwards for those who want to join the class. Always remember, if you do take one of Ann's classes, you are in a private Telegram group for that particular class where you can watch the class videos, like revocable trust class. I think there's 5 different class videos in there. So it was like 10, 12 hours of information that you can watch at your leisure. You can watch all those classes. You can just watch one class. You get the information in there. You have access 24/7, 365 to chats, former students, as well as myself and Ann. Ann's mostly in there answering questions. I just don't have time. I've got, probably 20 something Telegram groups that I currently curate. So I'm busy. You're welcome. Just go do your research. That's all I'll tell you. Like I said, you don't have to listen to me. Go do your own research. I tell everybody that. I'm just a moron. I'm an idiot. I sit here and talk to my laptop all day, every day. You're more welcome. Okay. Yep. You can call me anytime, girl. You got my number. Oh, what do you want, baby girl? Want to go outside? You want to go outside? All right, take you outside. All right, I've got to go tend to my puppy dog. So, again, just go see what's out there, see what all these people are talking about that have been taking you on this journey down some, dark, lonely roads, going nowhere, spinning you in circles, washing you out of any type of alternative lifestyle. And I mean that like, operating in the public privately. One big thing here, flock. I want everybody to go look up the word flock and look up that company and see what that company's doing. That company's coming out with license plate readers, and they're going to be static everywhere. And law enforcement's going to have access to them. So if your car's not in your trust and driving around, those license plate readers are going to ping you, and they're going to know everywhere you're at, everywhere you go, who you are. They're going to know everything about you. Or if I go to the property tax rolls and I look up your property or look up your name, boom, there you are. Now I know where you live. Now I know what your house is worth. I know how many bedrooms you have, whole 9 yards. But if you put it in a trust, now I can't find it because I don't even know where you live. Because everything goes to a P.O. box and everything's in a trust or some other entity aside from your name. And you're just living life. You're running around with your little trust debit card, just doing whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. You're the beneficiary. And you have a family office running your estate for you. And you just call. You're the shot caller. Just call the family office. Alfred, silver's going to go up. I think it's going to be $60 next week. Let's buy 100 ounces. All right. And then you get an email showing your receipt that you just purchased 100 ounces of silver from ABC Precious Metals. Thanks, Alfred. That's how it is. You don't do anything, they do everything for you. I profiled a family office over in Europe. You know what they invested in? Sports franchises. And they bought one for next to nothing. And then, you know how these sports franchises do? They blow up and become very valuable. And that's what happened. So everybody who was pulled into that family office that they invested in their trust, I'm talking millions. Yeah, millions. Tens of millions of dollars. just because their family office were savvy investors and saw an opportunity, seized upon it, and the return on the investment was very, very, very handsome. For instance, who was that? The owner of the LA Dodgers bought a soccer team, hockey team, something like that. You know, it wasn't the main three: basketball, football, or baseball. Bought it for nothing. And he's made like 500% on his return. I think he picked it up for, a couple 10 million. Now it's worth several hundred million. So there's all kind of opportunities out there available for you to invest. But does your trust have a ledger of all the assets? If you don't have a trust ledger with all your assets in your trust, fair market valued, how do you know how much your estate's worth? Have you gone down that direction yet? See, most people haven't done any of this. They don't know to do it because they're not being told to do it. That's part of what my whole curriculum's about. Boom. Trust ledger. Okay. Assets. What do I have here? These are trust expenditures. So this is how much money is coming in and out of the trust every month. Precious metals and gemstones. Weapons and accessories. And that's everything: bows, arrows, hunting gear, stuff like that. Slingshots, even pellet guns, ammunition, currency, coins, and crypto. And this one's another one of trust assets. But this can be as lengthy as you want. You can get these numbers off the internet, whatever. But those are assets, and this is what you can use to leverage your trust and borrow against it and do some other things. I won't tell you what those other things are. You got to take the class. All right. Ooh, y'all are rolling over here. You're more than welcome. Again, more than welcome. I found a whole set of trust books by the trash. I took them. They're very complicated. Yep, absolutely. If you attend to her herbs, they're meant to be that way, Catherine. Yep, they're meant to be complicated. And this is, listen, this is America. If I remember correctly, Donald Trump signed an executive order that the only language to be spoken in the United States of America is English. And yet the courts still use what? Latin. So next time your court uses Latin, I want to throw that executive order in their face and go, excuse me, sir or ma'am, it's America. We speak English here in America. We don't speak no Espanol. We don't speak no Latin. Got to speak English. They do that, okay? They speak legalese. They write in legalese. So you have to go get somebody to translate that legalese into English so you can understand it. That's why you have to hire an attorney, a counselor at law. Right? They're counseling you. They're practicing. They have a practice. They have a law practice. They're practicing on you. You're the guinea pig. That's why you got to go pay these clowns all that money to, read this document and translate it to English for you. They do that on purpose. Right? They are vintage. Even the words used we don't hear today. Black's Law Fourth, not easy. Yep. Very true, Floyd. I need to do that ledger and the assets. Yes, I tell everybody, man, get that thing, get it started. Even if just every day you can devote 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just what I did is I printed out, or just took a legal pad and walked around my house, started, hey, that's worth money. That's worth money. That's worth money. These laptops, I don't even have these on my ledger yet. These laptops are worth money. My phone's worth money. These cell phones, those are all assets. Even those trust books you have, they're assets. Put a value on them. Put them on your ledger. Even if they're, you can't realistically get the amount that you feel that there's fair market value for, put it on there anyway. Who's going to dispute your ledger, right? Can folks do advanced strategies like equity stripping as well? Equity stripping. We'll have to define what your definition of equity stripping is before I can answer that question, because I don't know what your definition of equity is. And then stripping equity, stripping it from what and where. Buffy will second that a good Black's Law is definitely needed. I'd love to have some of those old Latin books published in English. I'd show y'all a thing or two, right? Same as doctors practicing. Yeah, they're all practicing on you. So don't be the guinea pig. Don't be a crash test dummy and get practiced on. They will practice. It's like tattoo artists. Most of them are practicing. They're getting better and better. Every tattoo they do, every line they do, they get better and better. Sometimes instead of creating a masterpiece, they create a disaster piece. I've got a couple of those. But it is what it is. So there you go. A little bit about trust today on this Saturday. Thank you for hanging in there, spending your time with me. I know it's precious. Time, money, energy, honor, good faith, and clean hands. 6 tenets that everybody should live by. If you can do that, I think everybody will be very happy. Your number one priority. It's not even setting up your trust, even though that's what I push. It's your health. If you're not taking care of yourself, your body, why are you setting a trust up so you can be a beneficiary a year from now if you're not going to live to make it? So take care of your health. I will soon be doing an affiliation with Global Healing with Dr. Ed Group, so I'll have his products available. Also his services, his classes. So look forward to that, because that's part of what this is, because we are the people. If you're watching this video, you're probably in my community. You've watched me before. And we will be the people that have been unvaccinated, have detoxed our body as much as possible. We've eaten healthy. We've taken care of ourselves. We've educated ourselves. We've set everything up to where we'll be okay in the future. And we're going to be the ones to re-inhabit, like the Amish, with a community of respectful, well-spoken, highly educated children. And that's what I'm looking for. Because this isn't for me. I'm not going to live to see all this stuff. This isn't for my daughter. My daughter's already successful. She's made it. Okay. She's getting ready to get her PhD. So she's, all you have to have is those initials after your name, and you're pretty much going to make it in society. So I don't have to worry about her. All I have to do is keep her head out of that college indoctrination, the university, So that's just kind of been the wedge between my daughter and I. She's had that education and I've had the other education. So sometimes we don't see eye to eye, and she's a psychology major as well as a minor in anthropological pharmacology. Did you hear that? Anthropological pharmacology. There you go. All right. On the job. Yep, there you go. Damn good point. Thanks. You're more than welcome. I don't even know what point I was making, but all right. My homemade Korean barbecue will detox you and set you free. I'm not sure that's the freedom I want to have on a Saturday night. If I eat your Korean barbecue today, you're bad, Buffy. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Y'all have a safe and happy weekend. I will be back tomorrow night with, believe it or not, George Floyd's uncle. I had this pulled up, and I don't see it. Let me go get it for you real quick. And let me get you a black background. This is Selwyn Jones, folks. We are Facebook friends. He is George Floyd's uncle. He lives in South Dakota. And he's continued a movement. And it's not Black Lives Matter or Antifa or anything like that. And he's going to come on tomorrow night, and we're going to have a friendly discussion at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have no idea what direction the conversation will go. I don't know if we're going to talk about the Minneapolis event, if we're going to talk about George Floyd, we're going to talk about Selwyn Jones, we're going to talk about his endeavors. I don't know. We may talk about all of it. I've left it up in the air. I've left it wide open. We're going to do a follow-up next Sunday at 8, and Juan C. Vasquez is going to be on the show. Currently, Juan is in San Antonio, I think. He posted a picture of him and the owner of some sports team. So he's hobnobbing as usual with the rich and famous. 18. Oh, later. Okay. You'd like to talk to her about ancient drugs? Well, that's a whole other topic. But, Buffy, you'll love this. I've been watching my buddy Ed a lot, Dr. Ed Group, for those of you who don't know. I never call him Doc or Doctor because I knew him before he was a doctor, so he's always going to be Ed to me. It just is what it is. So I've been following Ed, and Ed talks about, his essence. You've got to save your essence. And I really had no idea what he was talking about. And I'll quickly digress with this and pop off. But I was watching a video, and I don't know why, no pun intended, but after I'll watch a video, almost every time one of the Y files with AJ Gentile and Hecklefish pop up, and it'll start playing. So I think I was cooking something, and it was playing, and I'm listening to it in the background. They're talking about the Philosopher's Stone and alchemy, alchemists. And I'm like, huh. And I heard the word essence. I was like, that's what Ed's talking about. And they're talking about urine therapy or urotherapy, consuming your own urine. Well, what that looks like with the Philosopher's Stone is you take your first morning's urine, and over time, you continually filter it and refine it. And as it ages, it eventually gets to what they call like red mercury, and it's the Philosopher's Stone. And it's urine that's turned to stone. And it contains stem cells, all your lineage, all the past lives of you and your ancestors. all in this philosopher's stone. And that's what the alchemists did. That's what Ed is trying to accomplish, to become an alchemist, trying to create the philosopher's stone. And he's been on this for quite a while. And I really didn't snap when he first started talking about it, or talking about urine therapy and all that. I was like, that sounds nasty. And you let it age? That sounds even nastier. But there's a process that you use, and this is what it's all about. And this has been established from ancient times. This is why I'm diving into, global healing and their whole philosophy. Philosopher's stone philosophy. No pun intended. Yeah. There you go. That's where we're at, Buffy. So this is why I'm very curious about Ed and his whole deal and what he's doing. If you would have told me, 38 years ago that I'm going to meet this guy, this hippie, blonde-haired, blue-eyed hippie, this wild man from Baton Rouge, that would one day be a world-renowned health expert, and that every time I hear him speak, I'm just dazzled by his research. I mean, he's amazing. Amazing. I'm extremely proud of him, his wife, and his brother for what all they have accomplished, what they're still continuing to do. Because this is a lifetime project for Ed. And I didn't mean to get off into that whole Ed's thing, but that's what it is. Right? There you go. All right. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a blessed weekend. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 when I have Selwyn Jones on the show. And we'll be discussing, possibly George Floyd. I don't know. But if you need a trust class, whatever, you don't have to come to me, but go somewhere, get it all set up, get rolling. Outro is coming up. If you don't want to stay around for this 2-minute, have a great
I come through with the style that's always never really from the block like the TikTok don't stop. I was at Shorty, she was non-stop. I had the hot plot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I could tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had a bill, throw the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side. Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on trap green. Trap the room, I'm saying right here. That's what I say. The best set jacks ain't up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When your mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When I left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Baby, the whole fuck